Hadouken!
For educational purpose only.
We're about to take it back.
Okay.
Talking Loud Podcast. It's always Diesel, dog. And you guys know we're back with another banger. We got a special episode for you guys. We got some very special guests because everyone wants to find out what's that secret sauce for increasing yield, potency, quality, final product. And CO2 is definitely something that will boost your output. So in today's episode, we're kicking it with the TNB Naturals fam. What's up, boys? How's it going?
Going great.
Hey,
How you
what's
doing,
up,
man?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to hang out with you guys, man. Like we were saying off air, we've been talking for a long time, and this episode's been long overdue, so I'm super happy to have you guys on, man. Thanks a lot for taking the time to come and kick it with us, bro.
Our pleasure.
Absolutely, yeah, man. We're excited for this one, and you've been on our radar for so many years. We've been chatting for so long, and it's great to finally sit down and get to connect with you further, man.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that, man. So, guys, smash that like button. A lot of you guys have been waiting for this one. I see Norma G's in the chat. A lot of great people in the chat. TNB in the house. That's what's up. You guys know it, man. So, if you guys got any questions, definitely drop them down in the comments today. We'll be a live FAQ as well. If you guys want to get any of those questions, we will try to get them answered. But before we actually get into any of those stuff, man, I just want to shout out everyone that's supporting on Patreon. The ICANN VIP Bean Club is popping. We got tons of fire going out to all VIPs. So, if you guys want to join up and get some of that fire, definitely join up and you guys will get that fire, man. And it's a great way to support the channel because, like I say, ICANN is not monetized. These cannabis channels face a lot of pressure when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, man. So your support really helps us to create more content. But let's get into this, man. You guys, tell us a little bit about, like, you know, just the what I actually like to ask everyone when they come onto the show. It's like almost like a ritual. Is the inspiration behind you guys' name. And TNB Naturals is just such a naturally nice name. So tell us a little bit about it. What is this? What does the TNB stand for? What's going on with the name?
Man, when we go way back, over a decade ago, probably closer to 15 years ago, and it all started with the first product, right, with our CO2 enhancer. And
Gotcha.
back in the day when things kind of first came together and we started doing some tests, we knew we had something special, and we kind of we said to each other, there's nothing better than this. There's no way there's gonna be anything better, and we kind of played with that. There's nothing better, and it was all natural, and we rolled on that front, and the next thing we decided on TNB Naturals. It had a good ring, it had some meaning to it, and we knew it was a name that we could build a brand around. We knew that we would come out with one product, but we always had envisioned a full line of products. So it's it's here we are about 15 years later, and things have come a long way from just that one idea.
Hell yeah, man. And that is crazy beautiful, man. So like you guys always had that passion and that wanting, that need to integrate it into the growing, into growers' lives and stuff. And I think that's awesome, dude. So when did TNB Naturals actually start?
Well, we always say we started around 2012 is when we first incorporated our company.
Over a decade, bro.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that was incorporation, and that's when we kind of found we did our very first distribution deal. So the thing is, we're around for years before that, but we were kind of a lot smaller. We were trying to break in. We were doing a little bit of self distribution locally, and then within Canada. But we had to make a lot of noise. We had to, we kind of had to carve out our own way before anyone would really listen to us, right? We got met with so many no's in the beginning, and people didn't know us. We didn't have a reputation. We didn't have really anything to our name. And once we kind of overcame a lot of those initial hurdles and built a bit of a name and established some repeat customers. We were able to, speak with some, some proper distributors in the industry and kind of catch their ear a little bit. And, over the years, one distributor, my apologies. And here we are all this time later. And I think we have just shy of 30 distributors now. So it's been quite the journey, man. And I thank you, because it's times like this that like forces us to reflect. And it's just pretty cool to remember, right? Because it goes so fast that sometimes you like don't have that. So we're so busy. There's 28 things going on every day. Like you forget sometimes like where we started and like, we started in a garage. We didn't have a big facility, right? We started like bare bones, and like a lot of other big companies started in garages too. It's cool, right? Microsoft, Disney, Facebook, the list goes on, right? And it's cool to see, where it starts and then where it can go. So for anyone listening, man, we're a pretty cool story. So, like if you have a dream and there's something you want to do, just put your mind to it, right? And it's crazy what can happen.
Wow, bro, that's so inspiring. You guys literally started off in the basement. Now you've grown to over 30 distributors. Like you guys ship internationally, because I know a lot of Canadian companies, they don't really like to ship outside of Canada just because of like the cost and stuff like that. But you guys are willing to ship to any grower. Any grower can get your stuff, and whether they can get it at one of these distributors or you guys can get it directly to them through like, reaching out to you or whatever, buying it online. Like I think that's freaking awesome, man. So shout out to you guys. And as Creation says, TNB has the best CO2 hands down. And I like a lot of people have been asking so far, like what made you guys like, say, okay, I'm going to dabble with the CO2 as opposed to some of the other stuff that, you guys could have dabbled in?
Well, we kind of saw a void in the industry at the time. There just wasn't that option, right? We had seen, the tanks and the regulators, but back in the day when we kind of got into it, it was on a smaller scale. And there were a few existing products, but we tried them and we're just like, oh man, these there's gotta be a better way. It was kind of one of those like, there's gotta be a better way.
And I think you guys have actually came out with a beautiful product. I've actually got it right here, and it makes life so easy for the home grower. So tell us a little bit about CO2 before we actually get into the enricher. What I want to do is just chat a little bit about CO2, because a lot of people still think of CO2 as this elusive myth. Some people say they need it. Some people recommend getting it. Some people say you don't need it. Some people say they don't need it at all. And recently we had Kyle Cushman on the Talkin Loud podcast, and he says he uses CO2 even in his home grows. And I remember someone actually said, I'm here just because of what Kyle Cushman said. So I think there's still a lot of, misconceptions, a lot of myths and stuff like that about the effectiveness of CO2. I actually ran a poll in the chat right now. We got almost 150 votes. And I asked people, have you ever used CO2 in your grow? And surprisingly, 30% of them said yep, but 70% of them said nope. So a lot of people have never used CO2 in their grow just yet. So if you guys are down, what do you guys think about, maybe doing a little bit of a giveaway and getting some of these CO2 enhancers into the hands of some growers to try them out for themselves so they can see the great benefits?
Yeah, that 70% of people, viewers not trying CO2. Once you do, you're not going to stop using it. It's such a powerful thing to bring into your grow space. And because of it's often overlooked by many growers. So what we've been doing is focus on a little bit of education about CO2. Why do you need it, right? So let's bring it all the way back to photosynthesis. So the three main elements of photosynthesis are water, light, and CO2. And, we learn about this at such a young age, usually, like way back in grade school or, elementary school, whatever you start in. And so it's such a simple thing that's overlooked. So, you water your plants, you give them light with your LED or outdoor in the sunshine or whatever. And then people have a tough time visualizing that a lot of the plant mass is created from an invisible gas. And
True.
what the photosynthesis process does is it allows the plant to create its own food in the form of sugars, and it needs that carbon and carbon dioxide. Within that process, it creates the plant mass. So if you don't have enough CO2, that can become your limiting factor, especially in an indoor growing setting. Because if I guess average CO2 levels currently are between, 350 parts per million and 400 parts per million in fresh air, right? So what do plants like? Well, they like a lot higher levels of CO2 to maximize the photosynthesis rates. And they're looking for about, above 1,000 parts per million. So, anywhere from 900 to 1,200 parts per million is really on the money. I think you can go up to 1,500 parts per million. And that you won't get that level of CO2 without adding a method of bringing CO2 into your grow space. So if you're, a lot of people that don't grow with CO2 are just relying on that lower parts per million level, about 350 to 400 parts per million.
Yeah.
So what your plants do is they use that up. They absorb CO2 through some openings on the underside of their leaves called the stomata, and they just breathe basically CO2 in, and that helps that photosynthesis process. So if you're using, these high power LEDs in your grow tent, those plants are using up the CO2. And then once CO2 levels drop, like to about 100 parts per million, photosynthesis completely stops. So your plants actually stop growing. So unless you're supplementing CO2 with some method, then your plants aren't really growing to their potential, right?
Yeah.
So we have our product, the enhancer, and this will get, it's easy to use, easy setup. Anyone can do it. You just activate it by, putting 1 liter of lukewarm water in it, shaking it up, covering the hole, and then hanging it up usually above the canopy, because CO2 is a heavier gas, right? So it'll cascade down over the plant, and it'll add CO2 to the room and allow your plant to maximize photosynthesis. And this, once you start using it, your plants look happier and healthier and will grow quicker. Like the veg time, well, you can shave off 7 to 10 days possibly in the veg cycle, and then flower, it will just really add to that mass and that density.
Wow,
But
dude,
this works on any plant as well. So
yeah,
a lot of
good
tropical flower growers really love adding CO2 to their indoor grow spaces and greenhouses.
Yeah.
Even we have giant pumpkin growers, the ones that win at the county fair.
Yeah.
They're using CO2 as their secret weapon in their greenhouses and that kind of thing. So it can be used on any plant and really maximize the growth rates and maximize photosynthesis. So so that's why you basically need to add CO2 to your indoor grow space. And even if you're venting it, even in hotter climates, you would place maybe the CO2 enhancer on the opposite side of from where the vent is, and maybe even a little further down into the canopy, or we've even seen people put it on the floor where they're dumping a lot of air. So it'll pass up through, and the benefits definitely outweigh the cons for adding CO2, because the plants do absorb CO2 fairly quickly. They breathe, basically, how we breathe oxygen, plants breathe CO2.
Literally, and as someone said so well in the chat, plants literally eat CO2. So shout out to Rodney. He knows what's up. Those plants are eating that CO2 and it maximizes their output. There are a lot of great benefits, I think, and you summed up a lot of them, just so well. And I put
Thank you.
up a
Yeah.
few on screen right now as well, which is coming from you guys. You guys have got a fantastic mailing list, man. And everyone in the chat, I definitely would suggest that you guys subscribe to their mailing list. Check them out on YouTube and Instagram. They've got tons of content on all these platforms and they're doing some really great stuff, so shout out to you guys on that. And yeah, they've got an email list which comes out, and guys can see clearly on screen the 5 top benefits when it comes to using CO2, and they're all some great benefits. So what I also wanted to mention, it was that I'm seeing some great comments coming in the chat, guys. So I'm going to try to get these questions answered, and maybe what we can start off with is Rascal, who's asking, what happens to plants if there's too much CO2?
Great question.
It is a good question.
Yeah, so if there's too much CO2, it's just the same as not enough. It'll slow photosynthesis. So if you're above, I'd say, above 1,500 parts per million is maybe too much. So I would say max out at 1,500 approximately.
Okay.
There's a lot of data online, and we've shared some of this info in the emails, as you've probably seen. And you got anyone that's viewing or can join our newsletter email list by just going to tnbnaturals.com, and there should be a place where you can sign up for the newsletter, either a pop-up screen, or if you scroll down to the bottom, you can add your email address, and then you'll get our weekly emails, which we try and give a lot of information and education on.
Yeah, a lot of value, and education is always our main focus. It's just trying to help people and trying to spread awareness. And even some of it may seem redundant, but it's just it's remembering how plants grow. Plants need CO2 in order to grow. It's just there's no way around it, and it's easily overlooked. Like they literally teach us about it too young, and then all the years go by and we forget, and we think literally, oh, I need more light, and I need more food, and I need the late. It's just like, if you just go back to the very basics, how do plants grow? Those 3 elements: water, light, CO2. And that's why we always say, like, after you've secured wherever you're going to grow and you've got the light, we really think the next purchase should be CO2. Yeah. That's how photosynthesis works, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's just such a vital part. It's easy to overlook, but it's one of those products, and it makes it really easy for us. And, we're kind of grateful that it when you introduce it, it works so fast that people are like, wow, it actually works. Yes, exactly. Like, you just gave your plants what they want. That's what they breathe. Yeah. Right? Like, and when you introduce more, people are like, oh, my plants are so much happier. They just bounce back. They start really reaching for the light. It's like, yes, you basically put an oxygen mask on them, right? It's like an oxygen mask on a human being, and that's what you're giving them. So people just they forget how important it is, and once they introduce it, they just they see the benefits so quickly.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned a great point. Once you get a great light in, it's always worth it to experiment and get some of that CO2 in, because everything works around photosynthesis. If you can give your plants the best effort at producing, it will produce. So always think of it that way. And on that note of lights, I just want to shout out our sponsor, Mars Hydro. They got some great lights, banging lights, and you guys should definitely check them out. You can use the discount code ICANTHC and save some money on your lights, tents, carbon filters, all sorts of stuff. And just check this out real quick.
This video is brought to you by Mars Hydro, where they have a variety of grow lights and grow tents for growers of all experience levels. Whether you're a small home grower or setting up a slightly bigger commercial operation, they have the tents and lights for you. They have tents for every space and need, including the new 2-in-1 tents. And they also have a wide variety of lights to choose from, including full spectrum LED and the new detachable FCE series. Links to all of the products that we use on this channel, including the Mars Hydro grow lights, are in the description below. Be sure to use the links below to support the ICANN THC channel. You can also save a few bucks on the Mars Hydro website by using the code ICANTHC at checkout for store-wide savings. Don't forget to use the code and save yourself a few bucks. Now, back to the video.
Yep, guys, so definitely give them a look. They got some great sales running, and you can use the discount code ICANTHC and grab a double discount. But back to CO2, man, because we got so many great things to talk about. And when it comes to CO2, one thing that may sound commonsensical, but one may not think of is would you actually measure the CO2 in your grow room, right? Do you need to get like a CO2 reader or a meter or something like that? What do you guys recommend?
For sure, yeah, it's a nice thing to have. Unfortunately, they're not the cheapest tool in the garden, but it is nice to know where your levels are at for sure. If you can afford it, having a meter and knowing is definitely a benefit.
Yeah, I got you. And then you'll see how our product works. It basically the level spikes the CO2 and then it levels out. And it's really important to maintain, constant levels, right? Consistency for your plants, which they love the consistent environment. And, I think the environment is the most important thing for your plants. And once you dial that in and you have the correct, temperatures and humidity and CO2 levels, you're really starting to dial things in and really, see good growth in the plant and good final product.
Got you. And I actually got a great question coming in from Harry Nugs Grow. So guys, like I said, it's a live Q&A. We got some questions. If you guys got any, drop them in the comments. I'm seeing some great ones and I'm putting them aside. So Harry's asking, does CO2 help if you're not running max PPFD? So that's a tricky one. What do you guys say to that?
Yeah, it does work even if you're not really paying attention to that, because that's a little bit more of a advanced thing. But it definitely if you just are growing regularly without paying attention to that and you add CO2, you're going to see a big difference no matter what, because that carbon dioxide is broken apart in the photosynthesis equation and the process. And it's hard to visualize that an invisible gas creates plant mass. So it's, once you wrap your head around that, it's, you need it. And, even if you're not even paying attention to your humidity or temperature, adding CO2 will help. And it will even help with heat stress because it'll allow your plant stomata, if it has enough CO2, then the stomata, they kind of open and close, their pores that, it's a water vapor kind of exchange for the plant. So that's where it absorbs CO2 as well. So if those are closed a bit more, then they're not losing as much water vapor, so they're not drying out, and so they can withstand higher temperatures. And you'll notice that there's a lot of data out there that says that, basically adding CO2 allows you to grow in a hotter environment where the plant can handle the heat stress, and it won't shoot, as much and create more internodal spacing. So it will just grow better within hotter environments. And we have a lot of people in the hotter states or Australia or just hotter climates that may not be able to put an AC unit in their grow space. They say that, thank you, your product has really taken the edge off the heat stress on my plants and saved my crops. So there's a lot of growers that use CO2, and you can grow, if you look into the data out there's lots of articles on it, you can grow a little like a hotter environment, hotter temperature.
Yeah, so true, man. There are a lot of benefits. So a lot of you guys that like to crank your lights up and have the grow room running super hot, this is definitely something that can also bring you a lot of benefits and help you get the max out of your plants. So guys, I actually wanted to ask you guys, someone has actually asked, what if you have pets? Like if you have pets in your grow room, does that affect your pets at all?
Great question. Yeah, that's it never emits a super high level of CO2, so it's safe. Our product's really safe around your kids and your pets. We get that question a lot because people are growing in their basements or their garage, and if they're using something like a a tank and regulator for CO2. If sometimes those can malfunction, or the regulator can freeze up, and then your tank empties in your house,
Yeah.
and that can be dangerous. Like 5,000 parts per million CO2 is dangerous for humans and pets, and so you won't. Our product's really safe in that aspect. We wouldn't say sleep on the floor of your grow tent.
Yeah.
Just
But
don't go to sleep in the same room as the tent or as your bottle, obviously. But
and that's where a CO2 monitor might come in handy, right?
Yeah, good point.
Let's say your grow tent or outside of your grow tent, you can monitor. But not everybody can afford those. So, but our product's really safe and easy to use and really effective. And it comes with a it's available in a refill pack as well. So that's the same contents as the original bottle. So you can actually, once the life is done of the bottle, you can rinse out the contents. It's all biodegradable.
Got
and
you.
then take a refill pack and empty the entire contents into the bottle, and you can reuse it. So it cuts down on waste. Plus, it's about half price for the refill pack. So saves you money. And
Dope.
it's there's a lot of waste in the industry, so reusing the bottles, and all our packaging is recyclable, so we're really focused on trying to be an environmentally friendly company. All
Hell
our
yeah.
products are green kind of minded, and we try to do everything, all our decisions with the environmental impact in mind. So
Yeah.
yeah, it cuts
That
down
is
on
awesome.
waste, and it saves you money to keep that CO2 going. The whole, there's the
This is
bottle.
awesome. This is really awesome, guys. And I think that the fact that you guys have taken it that extra step to allow the growers to refill their bottles at home, the bottle itself is just such a cool product, but the fact that you can actually refill it at home and you don't have to throw out the bottle, get another one, the recyclability, the sustainability, I think that aspect is also very important. So shout out to you guys on that. So someone has actually asked, shout out to Rodney, how long does a bottle typically last before you have to grab one of those refills?
Well, at the high ppms, kind of like what we've become most known for, you're looking at 2.5 to 3 weeks, and then it will kind of slowly taper off and produce less and less CO2. But kind of similar to some of the other products on the market, it will just sit at that lower range for weeks and weeks and weeks. But what people have to understand is that like a low amount of CO2 for a long period of time is not beneficial. That's not enough. Plants must hit the higher ppm levels in order to truly reap the rewards, in order to truly benefit. So if you have a product that's just producing an extra 100 parts per million or 200 parts, it's just not enough. It has to hit those high levels. So instead of us saying buy this product and just have it for months and months and months, that's not doing anyone any good. We say you're going to be so much further off in the end by switching it out every 2.5, 3 weeks, because you literally make that back in final yield. Like we have CO2 is a product that essentially pays for itself. You spend the money on the CO2, a proper CO2 system like the enhancer, and when it comes time to harvest, the money that you've put in will easily come back to you with your yield. So, once people try it and see it, and sometimes it even takes people trying it and then going without it for a round to really see, like, holy smokes, that last round was you know what I mean? We've heard that before too. Sometimes people try it and they don't realize just how great it is, and then they'll go without it, and they're like, man, that was the only thing I took out. And we're like, yes, right, it's there. It's just so powerful when used in on any plant.
Right. And there's lots of articles out there that it adds 30 to 50% higher yield. So right there, any money that you're spending on the CO2 you're just going to see that in the final yield and harvest. And it'll bring you so much more. And then, like Josh said, if you go without it, you really notice after growing with CO2. That's why we say once you start growing with CO2, you're never going to stop, because adds yield. The plants grow faster, they're bigger, they're healthier. Just overall, you know, they don't get disease as often, or pests are less of an issue because the plant is healthier and more robust to fend off these issues, right? And we all know that, there's at any given time there's a lot of different things that can make your grow go sideways, and the more healthy your plants are, the better. To see through the whole way to harvest, right? So that you want to add CO2 to grow your plants bigger and have them healthier.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
And what I think a lot of people often ask, is a frequent question, like, will CO2 actually make my buds bigger? Like, do I get more mass on my flowers? And for me, I think I've noticed a great difference. What do you guys say to that?
Oh yeah, big time. Like any plant grows better, like if we have a lot of, with the food security and the inflation on food prices everywhere, people are feeling the pinch. So I have a lot of friends growing at home, just, in their regular garden, growing tomatoes and you name it, vegetables in their indoor gardens and greenhouses, and they're adding CO2 in there as well and seeing huge gains in yield.
Yeah, fantastic, man. And I think that's a great benefit as well. A lot of people, are looking for those increased yields, and they really want to get that massive, end product. And I think that's important. Now, I just want to take it back, to the fact that we were talking about, you probably should not sleep, in your grow tent when you have the CO2 enhancer, hanging in there and, letting off that CO2. But we got a question from David Bryden. Shout out to David, man, and all the ICANN fam homies tuning in the chat right now. He says he actually lives in his lung room and his tents exchange air every 5 minutes. Can he use this product safely without redesigning his setup? So that's a little bit more of a specialized question, but can he use it in that setup?
Yeah, if you're, I guess we could have touched on that a little bit more. If you're bringing in like a fresh air source, or you're exchanging the air like that rapidly, constantly, or every 5 minutes like that, obviously that's going to, suck out the CO2, and your levels are never going to get that high. Same as if you have like an open window and there's, fresh air coming in, that CO2 is also going to go out. So, that kind of balances thing out. It's more like an extreme safety measure.
Right.
As you don't want to go to sleep right next to the bottle, but
yeah, it's for more safety reasons. And we always say, if you're feeling lightheaded, just go outside or crack a window, right? So we want to make sure that people remain safe. If there's fresh air exchange, it won't get into dangerous levels.
Yeah, I got you. Now, we got a great question that's coming into the chat, and this is a funny one because on your guys' emails, on you guys' YouTube channels, when you guys announce anything, there's always this super funny old guy. So there's a lot of people in the chat asking right now, what's the old guy trying to do? Where is the old guy? So tell us a little bit about him, man. Where is he right now?
Interesting,
yeah. That's Big Mine. He's been with TNB for probably about a decade.
Yeah,
and
legend.
He's been an instrumental part of
everyone loves him, man. Shout out to him, dude.
Right? He's he puts up with us, which is no easy task some days. And he's a true legend. He's a true legend, man. He's an amazing guy, and he's done a lot for our company on a number of different levels.
Shout out to him, man. True legend. Guys, check out their Instagram, check out their YouTube channel. He's often on the YouTube channel with some real high quality content, just doing some real high quality stuff. I love him, man. So definitely check him out. He's an awesome guy. So for all the guys who are wondering, that's who he is. He's big.
He's a fan favorite.
Yeah. He's definitely the most popular person around here. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh, man. I love that. That's so funny, dude. Now I actually got another funny question, which came in from XCal360, and he's asking, do the canisters actually set off CO2 or smoke detectors? So will this get me in trouble if I'm like in a dorm room or something?
They won't set off the smoke detector, that's for sure. I mean, It depends on the CO2 detector,
Okay.
but usually they don't. I mean, like you're not probably growing right beside a CO2 detector,
Yeah.
but
If you're in like an enclosed tent too, right? Like,
yeah. So you may want to find out at what point the CO2 detector goes off in your dorm, but yeah, there's a lot of people use it in indoor, closet grows or grow tents indoors with a lot of success and no issues.
yeah, and,
Yeah.
and when you introduce plants, you have to remember that the plants will take in the majority of that
They
CO2.
breathe it in and absorb CO2. So
Yeah.
that's why if you're not adding CO2, the levels will drop below what is needed for photosynthesis. So you just need to be like, even fresh air, adding fresh air isn't gonna get to the levels where your plant really is gonna take off and grow, right? Because and we just love to educate people on this because it's an often overlooked thing. A lot of people are, you know, saying, buy this expensive light, or, you know, feed your plants with this nutrient line and this. There's a lot of money being thrown around in the marketing, campaigns in our industry, and you know, unfortunately, there's no nutrients in photosynthesis equation that's not, water, light, CO2, right?
Yeah.
A lot of big nutrient companies will say otherwise, and we've been trained, I think, by grow, experts. So, if your leaves are yellow, add this nutrient.
Yeah.
We kind of get trained to do that. So, but I think if you take an overall look at how plants grow, um, and the basic building blocks of photosynthesis, you really see that carbon dioxide is needed for that process to even happen, right? And so CO2 gets a bad rap, in the environment and climate change topics, but the truth of it is that plants need CO2 to grow. Plants, trees of any kind, right? So if there was no CO2, photosynthesis would not happen on this planet
Yeah.
at all. So that it's just such a necessary thing for plant life and ultimately,
Absolutely.
like, life on our planet, right? So um, and we know that we have a really great product that helps growers get bigger yields in their grow spaces, and
Yeah.
the enhancers available almost anywhere around the world. We, with our distribution partners, we're all over the place. We're, North America, South America, we're in Argentina,
Fantastic.
Chile, we're
We
Europe,
worldwide, baby.
standing there, Italy, Australia. We re-entered into that market, and things are real, going well. So people are using our products with great success all over the world to get bigger yields.
Yeah, and the great thing is that, as you guys said earlier, you guys can use it for any plant. It's not limited
Yeah,
to just the medicinal plants. So ADHD is asking if he can use it with his microgreens. The answer would absolutely be yes, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Most definitely.
And you'll see bigger microgrown green yields as well. Like, every plant can benefit from CO2 just because it just helps them maximize the photosynthesis rates and
Yeah,
boost growth and add mass to your plants.
yeah, I got
Whatever
you.
you're growing, hot peppers, there's a huge group of people that are growing the hottest peppers in the world
Literally.
out there, and they're adding CO2 and getting, bigger plants themselves, and
Yeah,
a lot of, like, orchid growers, or tropical flower, um, you know, experts and growers all over, and associations are adding CO2 to their greenhouses and and seeing really good success. So we're loving getting all these success stories, from people all over the world.
yeah, I got you. And that is amazing, man. That is truly, truly amazing. So I think you guys are doing some great stuff. And personally, I got a question, and this question has been mirrored in the chat. What size tent is this canister good for? So what is the ideal tent size? Like someone is asking if they got a small 2x4 tent, is that too small to use this, or is it good?
No, not at all. You can basically use them in any size tent. We base one bottle on like a 12 by 12.
Okay.
So that it was kind of up to a 12 by 12, and
Yeah.
then there's just some real basic math. If you're in like a 6 by 6, instead of shaking it every day like we recommend for the 12 by 12, you might shake it every second day.
Okay.
If you're in like a 3 by 3, now you might shake it every third day.
Yeah.
There is a few factors. Are you sealed? Are you exhausting? You know what I mean? If you are exhausting, how often?
Yeah.
But what we welcome, is people to reach out to us, send us, on basically on any way, drop us an email, phone us, hit us on
Dope.
IG, DM, ask us anywhere, tell us quickly about your personal setup, and we're always happy to give people advice specific to the way that they're growing. But general rule of thumb, 12 by 12, shake it every day. 6 by 6, if you're exhausting, compared to being sealed, that might be the difference, whether you're shaking it every day or every other day. If you're exhausting, you can basically shake it every day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because some will escape, but like Daryl had said before, there's so many studies and just that proves that CO2 helps, whether you're in a sealed environment or exhausting. Right. And kind of regardless of the size of your tent, CO2 is going to bring benefit to your garden.
Yeah, so true, dude. And honestly, I think that that's amazing. So no matter what size tent you're in, you can get the benefits of it. It all comes down to how you use it, man. And I think that is truly friggin' amazing.
Even
So
if,
shout out.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, even if you have a larger
spot, yep,
you can use multiple bottles. So we have people
Great
like
point.
24 by 24. They might use 2 bottles, 2 to 3
Yeah.
bottles if they're exhausting, and so there's a lot of old timer growers out there, that maybe have
Yeah.
bad backs. You're not going to lug a big heavy CO2 tank around, and there's so many benefits to using CO2
Yeah.
and doing it in a easy way that's not going to break your back, and just really not more inconspicuous as well, right? It's not something that if someone sees you lugging a big CO2 tank in your house, maybe they'll be asking, hey, what are you using that big tank for, right?
Literally.
Right, so our bottle looks like almost like a soda drink, like a beverage. So you have it in a grocery bag, like no problem. It's not a heat score. It's a little more discreet, right? So there's
Yeah.
benefits to that as well. Plus, like other CO2 methods like tank and regulator, there's a bit more danger, and the cost for the setup is considerable.
Yeah.
It's a little more complicated. Even a generator for CO2, it's an open flame in your grow space, and so people are, fire danger is real. So right, so that especially if you have kids and pets around, and a lot of the home hobby growers is what our product is perfect for, and that's the type of grower that is looking for an easy thing to use, safe, and always reliable. You always know you're going to get the same thing every time with our products.
Yeah, that is dope, man. And that reliability it just can't be beat. And we were talking about tents, and a lot of home growers, like you mentioned, use this product, and a lot of home growers grow in tents. So Midwest Kevin is asking, do you seal the tent in a small grow room, or do you just do the whole room?
You can do either, but it certainly works great if you're sealing your tent.
Okay.
Because
Got you.
it's a with LEDs, they might not get as hot, so you can seal your tent a bit more, but it really absorbs that CO2 when you have a sealed tent.
Yeah.
You can be exhausting as well, and like we said earlier, you just place the enhancer canister in maybe the opposite corner of the vent, and
Got you.
as the CO2 passes through, it'll be absorbed by the plants. You hear a lot that people say, "Oh, we're exhausting. It's not worth using CO2," but that's a real common misconception. If you look out there, there's a lot of information online that the benefits outweigh the, you know, the cons on adding CO2. You're going to see
Yeah.
bigger growth from adding CO2 because those plants will absorb it really quickly.
Yeah, so true, man. And that is a great way that you guys have put it. And I think you guys have got a great product in the CO2 enhancer. This is a fantastic canister, but it doesn't stop there because you guys have actually got some great other products as well. I'm talking like the pH up and down, the granular product. I've been using that for some time and it works great. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is a granular, non-caustic pH up and down, and we've been seeing great feedback in the marketplace because a lot, especially with the organic growers,
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people don't know. You get everything dialed in. You're paying attention to your microbes and beneficial bacteria, and you're adding your organic material to your soil, and then you pH your water or your nutrients, and you toast all the microbes good and bad with a really corrosive acid adjuster, which is usually most of the liquids right out there. But
yeah,
ours is a granular. It's basically safe to the touch, and you're not going to get a chemical burn from this, like some of
so
the
good.
other ones. And the most important thing I think about this pH up and down is that it won't harm the beneficial bacteria. It's
Yeah,
non-caustic, so it won't burn
dope.
organic material. So that's why you can touch it with your bare hands. It's not going to burn
Yeah,
your skin off, and it's the same thing in your plants. If that corrosive acid's going to burn your skin, imagine what it's doing to your plant and your root. So it. I think that this is why it's been so successful. Like for us, it's quickly become a great, number two product for us. After the enhancer and refill, the
yeah.
CO2 that our pH up and down is liked by a lot of different customers, and it's just gaining popularity over time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd actually released a couple products before the pH, but it really just it caught legs like on its own. And once the all natural organic guys discovered it and found out that, like Daryl said, it doesn't harm those beneficials, and they just realized that it's such a nicer way to change your pH, right? Like you've seen the pH burns, you've seen what that does to human skin. Like, what is that
yeah.
doing? What's that doing to your water? What's that doing to your plants?
Mm-hmm.
It's got that
Basically
same
like an
effect.
acid, right?
It's an acid.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an acid. So
And those are corrosive acids. So there's a
corrosive
difference between
AF.
non-corrosive acid, which is ours is based on, and basically that means it's non-caustic. So
Yeah,
and corrosive acid will burn organic material. So that's your skin, plants, everything.
list
So
goes on.
a lot of people don't even know. They dial everything in, and then they grab a real strong phosphoric acid usually, and
yeah,
adjust the pH, and it, it's watered down, but it's still, it's corrosive. So a lot of the organic growers know that they want a non-caustic pH adjuster, so they use ours, and ours is quite concentrated, so it lasts a little while. So it's good value, I think. So that's why people keep coming back to it. We even have stores. It's funny because mostly people know us for the CO2.
yeah.
We talked to some stores out there that they heard of us from our pH up and down, and then they realized we have CO2 products. So we knew that then, like when that started happening, that hey, maybe this product is going to go somewhere, because the up and down, they found TNB from the up and down, and then discovered the CO2 products afterwards. So we knew then that maybe these products have some legs on their own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are making some waves out there because I can personally say that I'm a lover of organic growing. So when you guys brought that out, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to try it. I hated having to mix pH up and down. You pH it and you go too far, you go way too out of whack. Everything is crazy. So you guys have a really nice solution. And I also like the Kelptastic, which you guys have as an organic grower. That works fantastic. So tell us a little bit about that, because that's North Atlantic kelp meal and it's straight out of Canada, right?
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah, straight out of Canada from one of the most nutrient-rich locations in the world, is that North Atlantic Ocean, and this is our newest release, probably our most versatile product. It can just be used in so many different applications. from flowers to teas to your lawn and garden to your
Yeah.
shrubs to
Yeah.
just about any plant. They love it. It's harvested by hand and dried in the sun. And obviously, yeah, we're very proud to bring another great product right here from Canada.
Yeah, it's sustainably harvested as well. So it's carefully if as kelp grows, it grows quite quickly, but as it grows, they just cut it off and harvest it, and then it keeps growing. So those kelp forests are sustainable, and yeah, it's a Canadian product, and it's right in line with all our other products, which are all natural. And you can really beef up quality of a poor quality soil by adding kelp meal as an organic material to that soil.
So you can absolutely use it for like cocoa. You can add it to cocoa.
Right.
You can add it to soil. You can add it to like a super soil mix, and use that as an ingredient, right?
And it's really great for transplanting. You put a little bit in when you're transplanting each time, and it really helps
Yeah.
with the abiotic stress and of the plant. So it helps helps all plant stresses basically,
Yeah.
whether it's too dry, too cold, too hot, too wet, right? So that it helps in that case, and it's really high quality kelp meal, right from here in Canada. So we're really happy to be able to bring this to the world, and we've seen it used in so many different ways. It even if you add a cup of this to your compost pile, it'll speed up the compost process.
Ooh,
So
damn! I did not know that. That's a
that's a
pro tip.
little bit of info for you, all
Damn!
you
Smash the
viewers.
like button for that, guys. That's a pro tip for all you organic composter gardeners out
Right.
there.
Yeah, it'll speed it up. It's like an activator. So
Uh,
it's great in that aspect. And people put it in their gardens, their flower beds, around their fruit trees, their lawns, everything. So it's really a versatile product, and people are looking for alternative fertilizers right now. I would say because the economy is down, and we can't afford all the crazy nutrient lines that maybe we used
Yeah.
to be able to, right? So
I'm gonna just grab
we
these 52 bottles of nutrients that I need for this
right,
one plant.
and so people are looking for what they can add to their soil as
Yeah.
more organic components, and this is it. Kelp meal is one of them that it really adds to, and you can't really overdo it. You can't really put too
Yeah.
much. If you just put it, it was not mostly that, maybe it would be a little much. But if you're, mixing it in the soil, you can use it as a top dress or a soil drench on top.
Yeah.
You can
I've
add it
done
to your
both of
garden
those.
like every month or so, and
Yeah.
And it's just full of micronutrients.
yeah, there's
Right.
like over 70 trace elements, that end up in this part of the North Atlantic, and how fast the kelp grows, it just captures all those nutrients right in there.
Yeah.
So all the nutrients that you would you not get otherwise, and it's high in iodine, which is hard to source sometimes. That's a necessary element for plant growth, and important part of that process. So you're covered all your trace elements, and
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. That is so great. I absolutely love kelp. I've been using it, and when I saw you guys come out with that product, I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely going to give that a try. And since I've used it, I've not used anything else. So shout out to you guys, man. I
right on.
absolutely love it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We're loving that you're into that product, and some of the other ones.
Yeah,
We try
dude.
and come up with products that are going to be of value to the grower, and we always keep the home grower in mind, when we're coming out with our products. So
Yeah.
they're
And it's the kelp that'll actually
collect them all.
and it's the kelp that'll actually speed up that decomposition in the compost pile, right? You can just use that and
Right.
you're
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and then you can put that compost in your soil as well. So it's a great product. It's really sustainable. It's a green product that we're pretty proud of. It's our latest addition to the
Yeah.
TNB Naturals product line.
Got you, man. And I think that's friggin' amazing. I absolutely love it. And shout out to Kevin Schmidt as well. He's in the chat right now. And he says he's been using the TNB up and down since he won it on the last giveaway. I think that may have been the 420 giveaway. So shout out to him, man. And on that note, let's get the giveaway going, man. So what I'm going to do is that I think we got almost, it looks like just about 150 people tuned in, almost 200. We can get the giveaway going. We can do a live giveaway. And what I'm going to do is pull up this giveaway page so you guys can see what you guys will need to drop in the chat. So if you guys drop hashtag TNB Naturals in the chat, you'll automatically be entered. So do that in the meanwhile. And while we do that, I had a question for you guys, which came in from my good friend, Dante McCoy. And he's asking, he's found a nice dense web on his bottom nug. Should he dispose of the whole entire plant? He really doesn't know what to do. Now, in my experience, I know that something like spider mites, you usually probably just want to burn it with fire, get rid of it, depending on how bad the situation is. And one of the great things about the canister is that it actually helps to prevent pests and ward off pests and raise your plant's resilience. So in this situation, what would you guys suggest to Dante about that dense web that he's found on that bottom nug?
Well, definitely get rid of it and inspect if it's spreading. Unfortunately, those things can spread pretty quickly. You can use CO2 definitely to make your plant more healthy and resilient to fend off those pests. It's tough to say without seeing it ourselves, right? So but definitely, get rid of it, and you might want to really look at if it's going to spread, because and there's ways to deal with it, whether you're using, there's different products that are approved in different countries. So you might want to look at, recommended stuff. If you're going all natural, there's a lot of people using essential oils to fend off pests as well to help your plants. But there's a lot of methods out there. You just got to do some searches for how to deal with spider mites.
Yeah, find out what's best for you, but there's also predator mites, right? If you want to release beneficial insects into your grow, that's a great all-natural way to take care of them as well.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And I've found that, just doing a lot of the preventative stuff, so making sure you have things in check, lined up, you have your CO2 canister shaken and ready, you got your IPM routine set up, you got your intake and exhaust fans working, you can literally reduce the amount of issues that you have. And also just be very careful, guys, because a lot of people walk out into their gardens and bring stuff in on their clothing. Simple stuff like that. Walk out into the garden, smoke a J, come back into the grow room, and it's all messed up. So I would definitely say look out for that. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. Just what you bring in your grow room, you want to keep it as clean as possible, right, at all times. And if you have a routine or method to have that, or if you change your clothes, if you're not going into your garden, I think we said it earlier, there's at any given day, there's so many things that can take your plants down, right? Whether it's pests like this, whether it's spider mites or any other pest or any disease, right? Or even if you're not pHing your water and you get nutrient lockout, let's say, there's a lot of different things that can, take your plants out. And so, just if you have your routine down, you got to check on your plants, often.
Constant.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because it could be, a lot can go wrong in 3 days if you don't, check it out, right? So
huge facts.
Right. So, and it's great if you're going in, check your plants daily, shake your bottle, your enhancer. But the cool thing about that is the enhancer is heat and light activated as well. And so it will, even if you forget to go in there and shake the bottle, it certainly helps best to, shake up those surface areas and get it going to produce more CO2. But even if you forget one day, it's not a huge deal, because when your lights kick on and the temperature rises, it'll start producing more CO2 on its own. So it's a great thing as well. No other natural CO2 product has that ability. Ours, when your lights turn off and it's in the night cycle, it'll actually produce less CO2 at night. And that's what your plants want. They don't want CO2 at night. they respire and they breathe it out. So when the lights are on, they're breathing it in. So that's when you want to shake your bottle. If you can do it in the first couple hours when your lights kick on, if you're around then, or whenever you have a chance.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, man. So, guys, definitely smash the like for that. Also, drop the hashtag TNB Naturals in the chat so you guys will be entered for the giveaway. TNB guys will send you out a nice little package. And just to confirm, would this be like international? Is it USA only? Like, how are we going to do this one? What are you guys thinking?
Oh no, we're available all over the world, so we're more than happy.
We worldwide,
ship.
baby.
Yeah,
Worldwide.
we're happy to ship anywhere that your listeners are joining us from.
Yeah,
Quick shout out to everyone who's tuned in, and just quick shout out to everyone who's using our products. We really appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we know that we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for people supporting us, believing in us, and using these products in their gardens. So really thankful for all you guys and girls who are supporting the TNB Naturals brand.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
And make sure you follow us on social media because we're giving stuff away all the time on our YouTube channel.
We try to give back as much as we can. It's kind of always been one of our main focuses is to bring out, high quality products and give back as much as we can, man. We're so grateful to do this every day.
Right.
And, whenever there's an opportunity for us to give away some free products to the growers in the community, we're all over it.
Yeah, we wouldn't really be where we're at now unless it wasn't for the online growing community. So it's a tight-knit bunch, and it's really great to be a part of that. So we love giving back to the community, the grow community, right?
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
And people like yourselves are spreading the knowledge, spreading the love, and we really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you and on your channel and speak to all your followers.
Appreciate you guys being here, man. And you guys always give back to the community. You guys do a lot for the grow community. And I think that's one of the awesome things you guys do. You guys actually have like your sponsorship program that you run, and creations actually ask about that. So while we get some more of these entries in, just tell us a little bit about you guys' sponsorship program. When does it open? And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it kicks off again in November.
Okay.
We'll be looking to add a bunch of new growers to our team. And for anyone who doesn't know, basically we ask growers to create their best TNB Naturals videos. We've been doing this for about 5 years now. It's been so much fun. We've seen so many people just kind of like come out of their element and, bring their creativity to a whole nother level. And what we ask people to do is just make their best TNB Naturals video. How they see that, it's totally up to them. And they'll have about a 3 to 4 week period to create something and submit it and post it up. And then we kind of evaluate, and we bring forth more and more people every year, and just allow people to have access to a bunch of our products, and then kind of roll with our team, who we value tremendously, and can't wait to kick this off again.
Yeah, dude, this is the announcement video from I think last year, dude. It was epic. So shout out to you guys, man. You guys have got some great production quality, and I absolutely love seeing you guys, just seeing the whole team at work, and it's awesome. Look at you guys, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. Well, we kept getting asked like, hey, can you sponsor us, TNB? Hey, can you sponsor us? And it was just, we were overrun with questions like, how can we get sponsors? So we came up with this cool contest where we really, like Josh said, we push people out of their comfort zones to make these funny videos. And because we like to have fun here at TNB headquarters, if you've probably seen from some of our videos. And so we like to, we thought, how can we narrow down all these people that want to get sponsored? And so we came up with this idea and made it a contest where people submit their best videos about TNB, and they can be creative. And we really have a good time watching some of these videos every year. Some of the things that people do are great, and it's really funny, like, because you can't take life too seriously, right? So it's nice to give back even more by sponsoring a grow team, and then having a little fun along the way with it as well.
Absolutely, man. I think you guys are doing great stuff, man. Definitely don't stop. And you guys are always giving back. And speaking of giving back, let's hop into that giveaway. Let's do that draw. And without further ado, if anyone has not entered, you guys would have missed out. But let's hit that draw button. And without further ado, drum roll, please. The winner is going to be the one and only I Can't TV with Matt. Well, it can't be me, so we got to do that over again. So let's do another draw. I think
What
I
are the
actually
chances?
just realized that there were some settings that I was supposed to set up to take myself out of it. But let's just do it over real quick, guys. Don't worry about it. And we just do TNB rocks instead, so we can just separate it from all the other entries. So drop it hashtag TNB rocks. And before we actually close that off, I got one final question that I wanted to ask you guys, and this is a big one because a lot of people know about CO2 and have used different products when it comes to CO2. So when it comes to the TNB bottles versus the exhale bags, a lot of people have been like, leaning away from using the exhale bags for different reasons. But what's the difference between the two?
Well, we always say the main difference is we both produce CO2 naturally, but that's kind of where it ends. One, we're refillable. Two, like Daryl mentioned, we're heat and light sensitive, which means when the lights go off and it becomes nighttime, our product slows the release of CO2. The exhale bag is putting off CO2 24/7. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that is detrimental to your final yield. Plants do not want CO2 at night. They don't need CO2 at night. So when you're trying to shove it down their throat, it kind of messes up the mother, kind of like Mother Nature. Like that's
Yeah.
not a natural thing. So also ours just hits such high levels of CO2. We always say the exhale bag and all the bags are a great concept. You just put it in there and it produces CO2, but it's just not enough CO2. The levels just aren't there.
You would have to
Yeah.
have multiple.
You'd have to have a dozen bags. You know what I mean? It's
Wow.
just it's not feasible.
Yeah.
So I think when people realize, that it's the cost is a little bit more, and you are switching them out, and you do have to shake it, but just that little bit of work is so worth it at the end. And we hear all the time, once you try our product and see the results,
Yeah.
it's very easy to see why it's a little bit more, or why it's a little bit more involved, because the time and energy and the effort and the money that you put in comes back at the end.
Yeah.
If
I
you're
got
not
you.
getting high enough CO2 levels, it's not worth it. You're not hitting the higher like photosynthesis rates.
Yeah.
So, and there's some graphs out there that are really great. We sent a few in some of our educational emails on CO2. There's a sweet spot, right, where you can definitely gain the most out of CO2
Yeah.
from adding a certain amount. And you just need to hit 800, 900, 1,000 parts per million to make a difference. And if you
Yeah.
can hit 1,200, that's you're really pumping the plant growth, and you're just getting way more out of your final yield there by adding the right amount of CO2. And the biggest
Absolutely.
difference I think is the mushroom bags are a great idea. They just don't put enough CO2.
Yeah, I got you. And that makes a lot of sense. And I know you guys say you guys have got it's all organic ingredients. And I know the other one is like a lot of bacteria, fusarium, or I can't remember which one, mycelium. I can't remember which one it was. It was on the eliums. But anyway, so I've actually got a lot of people who've entered, and we're going to do that draw. But before we do that draw, Rayburn's Shit Apocalypse Theory is saying, I got to ask you guys the tough questions, man. And I don't want anyone to say I ain't asking the tough questions. So, is there CO2 in farts?
I think there probably is.
Yeah, there sure is. I mean, if you want to just
if you can fart all day
long, I mean,
maybe that's a great way as well to add to supplement CO2.
Just let it rip.
You just gotta remember what's going on at the end of harvest. You're likely consuming that product, so I mean,
Yeah. They're consuming all the
I don't know.
heliums.
You got to test one out with a CO2 monitor.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
dope. Yeah, gotta
There
do
you
that.
go.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna test one out with the CO2 monitor. Seal yourself in your grow room and
I
give it a
bet you
try,
that'll get a
guys.
lot of views, that video.
That's the funniest question that I think has ever come across the table.
Yeah.
That's up there with one of the oh man,
That's one of the best questions we've ever been asked. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
Thank
funny.
you.
That's
definitely.
so original. No one's ever asked us that.
Oh,
We've been
shout out to
around
my
for a
man.
minute. We've had a lot of questions, and that one's never come across. That's impressive.
Yeah, Norma G is also asking if I got a discount code for TNB. And as far as I'm aware, I don't know if you guys do discount codes, but I don't got one just at the moment. Do you guys do discount codes or anything like that?
You know, we generally push people to try to connect with their local hydro store.
I actually love that.
Build
Yeah.
that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, once you're in there, you know, a couple times, those discounts seem to come organically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just with the customer loyalty and, you know, shout out to all the hydro stores. I know things have, you know, aren't as easy as or aren't as good as they once were one day. But man, it's the hydro stores that really allowed for this industry to take off. You know,
Yeah.
support your local hydro store. They are so important. They've allowed us to really expand our business and you know at the end of the day we need those stores, you know, those
Yeah.
local stores are so important. So
And with the rise of online shopping, you know, it's even a tougher go for them. So yeah, we really like to push people to this retail store because, you know, chances are that they develop the kind of the grow culture in your town, in your city, right?
Yeah.
So they've really added to the knowledge. You can go in there and ask them anything, right? So, you know, instead of giving you maybe an online code, we kind of steer away from that. We like you to go into the store and talk to the owner. Maybe we'll get a
Yeah.
discount there.
Got you, got you. And yeah, man. So I think that's awesome. And I think the grow store culture is something that's slowly dying. So I think that's something we really need to, you know, try to see if we can prop up on our shoulders as best we can and keep it running because that's what laid the foundation for where we are right now. So big ups to you guys. And Mrs. K's Garden, much love to you fam. I always see you in the chat. And we actually answered this question earlier. Is it safe to use pet with pests? Yes, it absolutely is. So you're good to go. And you know, I got your back, Miss K. You know, I'm out here. And let's flip over screen real quick, get over to that giveaway, and let's do that draw, man. So, guys, we've had a great sesh so far, and it's about to get even better for someone as we do this draw. I did not drop the hashtag, so I should not be drawn in it as a participant, but everyone else who did should be. So, let's get into it, man. Without further ado, drum roll, please. And the winner of the giveaway, TNB Naturals, is going to be. We got Dante McCoy. Shout out to Dante, man.
Congrats, Dante.
Yeah, man. Dante actually dropped the question about that spider mite issue, I think, and he had to chop his plant down. So hopefully this brings you some joy, brother. Much love.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Way to go,
awesome.
Dante.
Congrats, Dante.
Congratulations, Dante. So send me an email to icanthcseedclub@gmail.com and I'm gonna hook you guys up with the TNB Naturals fam and we can get that sorted out for you, man. So congratulations, brother. Much love, and you deserve it, man. You've been here from the beginning of the live chat to the end, and we're always happy to help someone out, man, and give back to the family. So thanks a lot for you guys to sharing the love, TNB Naturals.
It's
No
our pleasure.
problem,
We love
man.
giving back
Yeah.
to the growers because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, man, I think we've touched on a lot of different stuff, man. We touched on a lot of great questions with you guys. And before we actually close off, the only thing that I wanted to ask you guys about was the CO2 enhancer. Now, that is another product that you guys have, and it's a great product. So tell us a little bit about it before we close off.
Oh, the
The
enricher.
enricher. Yes.
Enricher, my bad. Too
Yeah.
stoned.
Yeah. This is a great product. We kind of call it our sleeper
Yeah.
because it's a bit more involved, but I don't think we've got more pictures from any single product than sent to us in our email or whatever than this
Shit.
product.
Wow.
Because it really brings the deepest, darkest green color that you know growers have ever seen in their plants. So people are so shocked when they use this that they have to send us like pictures of before and after. So it's really cool to see. This one works on any plant as well. I think
Yeah.
I think like Josh used it on your flowers, and they just
Yeah,
blossomed like
way more blooms. They just kind of explode, and it's a product that it's no one else is really doing it. No one else has kind of came up with this,
Yeah.
and it's been around for a while for us. But it's funny, it's just been like where the pH just really took off in a hurry. The
Yeah.
enricher's kind of just been like our slow and steady, and
Yeah.
it's just been a little bit harder to get people to really try it. But once again, once you kind of have the ability to introduce this to your garden, and you see what it does, it's just another great product from us, and one that's just a little bit slower to get going. But I think in the end it's gonna just continue to build and build.
right. It's
Yeah.
a standalone product, so you can use it with any nutrient program you're currently running.
Yeah.
And so you use it every 2 weeks on a watering cycle. And it's like Josh said, no one else is doing exactly
Like
something
this,
like
yeah.
this,
Yeah.
but it really can be used on, you know, on your plants of any kind, your garden, your produce, your flowers as well.
Absolutely.
And it's really gives you, um, it's kind of like a corrective supplement and plant booster. So it'll produce like sweeter fruit, stickier, more rosin, and
Wow.
it'll enhance flavors as well.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial actually. It's kind of like almost like a soil conditioner in a
Yeah.
way also. So it's a little bit of a different product, but like you said, it's a standalone. You use it every 2 weeks, and you really see darkening, really deep, luscious green colors from your plants.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Really healthy looking. Yeah.
It also,
Got
another
you.
cool feature, it'll help break up any like insoluble micronutrients that might be trapped in the soil. So
Yeah.
it's great for that. It just kind of opens things up, and it's magnesium based. And as we know, like a lot of plants really love that magnesium.
Mhm.
And so you're just kind of giving it a little bit more of that. And then we've got a few other things in there as well to really add more benefit, right? That's what we're always trying to do, is bring value with everything we bring out. And this is another product that we're really pleased with, and really looking forward to seeing more and more people use it in the future.
Yeah.
Dope. And can you
Definitely
use
helps
it like,
nutrient uptake as well.
Mhm.
oh, nice. Okay, so that actually goes into what I was just asking. I was about to ask if it actually, you can mix it like with silica and CalMag and stuff like that, or
There's
how does
lots
it
of
work?
ways to use it. We
Okay.
definitely say use it by itself on a watering cycle.
Yeah.
But you have many growers have different aspects to their grow formula.
Yeah.
It'll work with everything.
Perfect. Well, that is dope, man. And I think that's amazing. And like I said, you guys are just bringing out so many great products, not just the original enhancer, which, you guys are so well known for, but a lot of other great stuff that organic growers and synthetic growers can use all over the world. So shout out to you guys on that, man. And I just noticed it's just after 4:20 somewhere. So I think on that note, it's probably the perfect time to close out. And before we actually do, just drop, where everyone can find you guys. A lot of people want to find out more of you guys. Where can they reach out to you guys and hit you guys up?
Definitely. So check us out online on our website, tnbnaturals.com. Follow us on just about every social media platform under the sun. We're, if there's one that we're not on, please let us know. We'd like to connect there. Instagram, TNB Natural. We have 3 accounts. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on X.
TikTok. Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah. Find us anywhere. Go to our website. We got a lot of quick links. Or just search TNB Naturals, sometimes TNB_Naturals, and connect with us. Send us messages, tag us. We do our very best to reply to every single DM, every tweet, every Facebook message, every email. Every phone call. We do our absolute best, man. We've always said, no matter where we go, we're going to be accessible. You can reach out and talk to us. We're a real company.
Yeah.
We're not a big corporation. We're not tied to any of these big companies who are, doing some interesting things in the industry. We're real. We started out here just like you.
In that
growers
basement.
right from the
We're real
beginning.
growers,
You know,
yeah.
people who love plants. We love horticulture. We love getting our hands dirty, and you know, we just, like I said before, we're blessed to be here, and we're doing as much as we can to bring people with us in
Yeah.
terms of the sponsorship and give back wherever we can. So, you know, reach out with us, connect with us, ask us questions. We're real people, and we love talking to people who are using our products.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, guys. So, guys, thank you guys so much for coming on. I think you guys have done so much, you know, for not just in this episode breaking down CO2 and the benefits, but in the wider community, you know, just being out there, being a presence. And like you said, starting off in that basement, and cheers to you guys for making it and keeping on trotting, man. I really do respect you guys. And it's truly an inspiration. So, thank you guys so much for coming on behalf of everyone tuned in right now. We got like 150 people tuned in right now. And on behalf of the thousands that watch it afterwards, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys coming on to kick it with us.
Well, thanks for having us. It's really an honor to be here with you and you know, be a part of your community and your audience.
Hell yeah, most definitely, guys. So, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Check out TNB Naturals on Instagram. They got 2 profiles, or maybe it's 3. Check them out on YouTube. They got a banging account on there. And definitely show them some love and let them know the ICANN fam is over there and supporting. And Dante, don't forget to send me an email to icanthcclub@gmail.com so I can get that prize out for you. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in, man. And as Creation says, best live show yet. So thank you, TNB Naturals. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you,
guys.
Matt.
Nice to be here.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Everybody
yeah.
have a blessed day.
Appreciate
We'll
you
see you
guys.
guys super soon. Don't forget, stay high and stay fly, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace, fam.